talking about the subject of university, that's the next question I have for you is, you have, like I said to you before, you have 2 degrees in fashion design.
Yeah.
So tell me about your process. What made you decide to start going into fashion in the first place?
I think, well, ever since I was like this high, it all began with a life-size Barbie doll. I used to get my clothes from a dressing up box, put them on my Barbie doll, like recreate them out of sellotape, whatever I could get my hands on. And at that age, I didn't know, you know, fashion was a career path. You know, I didn't know anything about it until my final year of school, when we looked into what we wanted to do after we left school. A lot of the girls were going off to college, some stayed on, and I was like, what can I do that, you know, that's creative and artistic? And then I came across my fashion course. It was a national diploma at Oakland's College in St Albans, and that was a 2-year course, and that involved textiles, and like, it was so creative. And once I'd done that, I absolutely knew 100% that fashion was the path that I wanted to take. I mean, the best thing for me was having my first fashion show, which was at the end of college, and seeing my garments that I'd made like go down the runway. It was amazing. It was such an adrenaline. I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
You just knew that it was your passion, your
yeah. So then, you know, I just gave myself a kick up the butt. Went to university, studied a 2-year foundation degree in fashion design, and that was really good. It was challenging, and then I done a final year, which is Bachelor honours degree, and that was really, really challenging. That was really probably one of the toughest years. It was so demanding, it's so competitive, and I thought, after university, most of the people who were on my course then went to work for fashion houses and stuff like that, so not building themselves as an individual designer sort of thing. And I was like, I thought to myself, I don't want to work for somebody else. I want to be known for being my own designer. Do you know what I mean? For my own brand. So I was like, I'm going to work on building up my brand. So the last 4 or 5 months, I've really been focusing on that and seeing how far I can get with it.
So you're kind of in not only really, like, you know, you mentioned you're a beauty queen, you mentioned you're a model, you're actually an entrepreneur as well. That's what's going to mention. You actually are a businesswoman as well. I mean, you're selling your own dresses, your own, you know, swimwear and everything like that. Do you want to actually take this to, because I know that at the moment it's April Banbury Designs, isn't it? But do you want to take it to a level maybe where, you know, it's that kind of designer level? I mean, obviously you obviously are a designer at the moment, but that kind of maybe high-end designer.
Obviously my aims are high, but not too high at this moment in time. I'd ideally like to start off with having my brand in another store as a concessions, you know, like in New Look they've got Rare, and in Topshop they had Celia Birtwell and, you know, Kate Moss's range, something like that. I think, you know, to really raise my profile to begin with, I'd like to see my designs in like a high street store as a concession, I think.
And then from there
take it up, you know, to A-list celebrities and red carpet events, just saying.
Sounds fantastic. Sounds like that April has a lot of dreams, goals, aspirations. So what can we learn from April? You know, it sounds like she's driven for success. So I want to ask you the next question now. Is like, you know, young people over here, this is Focus on Support Limited, Lizzy show, trying to help the youths out there. So what if someone right now is sitting there watching, thinking, I want to get into fashion design, I want to become a designer, I've been working for a fashion house company, or I've been working for all these different retail companies, but I actually want to step out now and go it and do it alone. What kind of advice would you give to them?
It's what I'm going to say, it's, you know, it takes a lot of hard work, determination, you've got to be motivated, it's all you've got to do. You know, don't think about what if and if it doesn't work out, you know, you've just got to put yourself out there as much as you can. Networking is probably the key ingredient to being successful in an industry like this. And obviously, you know, you can go out networking, you can still have a great time. It's not like work, you know, but just, you know, it's who you meet and, you know, everything sort of rolls off of each other sort of thing. So, yeah, I think, be determined, ambition. You know, driven. So
do you think
and just have fun with it, really, because it's something that you potentially want to do for the rest of your life. You know, you've got to, you know, want to do it and like 100%, you know, wholeheartedly sort of thing.
So you've got to want it. So if you're out there now, you want to be a fashion designer, you want to make clothes, you want to come out of the retail field and go and step out there on your own, you need to have determination, you need to be ambitious, you need to make sure you're into it 100%. It's not enough anymore to have 50% or 70%.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, if you've got a goal and you know, you want to achieve it and you put your whole heart into it, then nothing's impossible. I don't think, you know, I won't stop. Even if I'm 90 years old and I still haven't got my own store, I won't give up.
Determination is the key. And as many of you know right now, it is London Fashion Week. It's begun, and you know, we've got April here. She's going to show us some of her designs. As a young entrepreneurial woman, as a young beauty queen, model and a fashion designer. So I want to know, are you going to London Fashion Week, and what are you intending to do there?
I've got such a busy schedule at the moment. I'm really hoping to go to London Fashion Week. I'll be so disappointed if I can't make it.
Yes.
I'm going to go and have a look at all the latest trends, you know, what the designers are putting out there for like the next season and sort of things. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what I can find out there. Do some networking.
Yes, meeting new people. What do you think we can expect to see from London Fashion Week? I mean, because, you know, there's many people over on this programme right now watching the programme thinking, do you know what, I don't know anything about fashion. You know, you've got so much experience in fashion. You know, I have maybe a little bit of experience in fashion, but you probably know so much. What can they expect to see? What kind of designs, what kind of people, what kind of designers are out there at the moment? Yeah. Do you know?
Well, I mean, obviously you can expect to see all the high-end designers are going to be showcasing the best of their designs. For trends for next year's trends, there'll be spring summer 2012. I think the people, it's going to be buzzing, the crowds will be buzzing, everyone's going to be, you know, photographers everywhere, celebrities even, there'll be celebrities there as well. Yeah, I think just a real good atmosphere, like it's so busy and just like it's such an amazing thing to, you know, be part of. If you get the chance to go, I would recommend it. If fashion's what you're into, obviously.
Yes. Brilliant. Talk to you about the Essex Fashion Week. You know, you're going to be doing, you've mentioned before that you're going to be designing so many things for Essex Fashion Week. So what will you be designing?
I think with all the attention, like the media attention that they've got recently, I think Essex Fashion Week would be like is an amazing opportunity to, you know, showcase my designs there.
Yes.
I've got 6 garments that I've made already. I've got some sort of more cutesy day dresses.
Yes.
And then I've got some ball gowns, evening dresses, and then I'm going to have a range of sort of more glamorous wear aimed more towards the Essex market sort of thing. So hopefully that will bump my sales up, like, or someone will recognise my talent.
And what about The Bachelor? I'm quite curious. I mean, this girl was on Channel 5 for how many weeks was it?
It was like 2 months.
2 months. You met Gavin Henson.
Yes. You
actually got to, you know, speak to him. You got to even talk to him, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
You got to interact with the girls as well on the show. And was there love in the air?
I think there was. Being in a situation like that, I mean, it's difficult. 25 girls, 1 guy, you know, only one can end up with him. I mean, more towards the end, your feelings do progress and develop, and it gets really tough.
Yeah.
So, but it was an amazing experience, something that, you know, I'll take away with me and cherish for the rest of my life. I'll never forget it. And I've made some amazing friends with it as well.
So it's really, really good. And also, I was just looking at the episode where you went down the, what was it, the hill or something?
The zip wire.
Oh my goodness. I was just like, where did you get the confidence to do that? Like the guts to do
I
that?
was
Were
like,
you scared?
I was absolutely peeing my pants. I was like, okay, just
You
don't
offered
pretend that
like
you're scared.
Second one.
Don't pretend that you're scared because he's going to think you're worse. Just, you know, be brave and look cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah,
I was thinking,
like,
oh my God, what have I done? I'm going to die. I was it wire. But it was fine. I'd done it. I faced a fear because I'm actually scared of heights. But I didn't tell him that. I was like, oh my God.
Ooh, you played it really cool because I did not notice anything.
Yeah, I was like, and then I got on it and I was like, wee! I was like, this is so much fun. I actually wanted to do it again.
Oh, that's fantastic. The press are actually looking for you, like featuring you without you even knowing.
Yeah.
So what newspapers and magazines have you been in so far, roughly?
Obviously, lots of the Chat magazines. I just recently in December had a feature, a double-page spread in Chat magazine, which is a women's magazine.
Yes.
Talking about, you know, my story and a bit about The Bachelor and stuff like that and what I do and that. Just, you know, all the national newspapers and stuff like that. Just all the magazines and newspapers.
Like
all you see on the shelves.
So you've been on the Daily Star.
Yeah, and the
OK
Mail on
magazine,
Sunday, OK
Mail
magazine.
on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds really good. And you're always in your Gazette as well, isn't it?
Always in the local Gazette, my little local newspaper, bless them, they love to write about me. They're always ringing me like, what are you up to now, April? I'm like, well.
And then you're like, they write about you.
Yeah.
So, what about, you know, the people out there, like, just say people do want to follow your footsteps. They're like, oh, do you know, I want to get into the media. I want to be on the press. I want to be in the press. I want to be followed. I want everybody to know about my designs, or I want them to know about, you know, maybe they're trying to be a singer or a dancer or a TV presenter. What kind of tips can you give them on how they can break into the media?
I think, well, if they're in any competitions or they're doing anything for charity or something like that, I mean, if you're a dancer that, you know, you set up a dance school and like raise money for charity, that's a good way to grab media attentions or things like that. Signing up to social networking sites is always a good thing, like, you know, just and networking events, obviously, because there's going to be press at networking events. Literally, just like social media networking is like the key ingredient, I think, to getting yourself out there.
Fantastic. The next question I want to ask you is, when you're not busy, you know, working on, you know, you did your education, for example, you know, you've done your fashion designs and everything, and you've done a lot of pageants as well. When you're not doing that, what kind of things can people expect for you to be doing in your private time?
In my private time, I mean, I'm obviously really close with my family, so I do love to spend a lot of time with my family. My sister's like my best friend, so I'll go and visit her, or I'll go out for lunch on a Sunday, hopefully usually with my nan and my dad and his partner. So yeah, that's like, I try and make a lot of family time like when I can.
Oh, that's brilliant. You know, family time is so important, you know, being close to family and friends.
Having the support from them as well. I mean, obviously, because I grew up without a mother, so having the support from like my nan and my dad and my sister is lovely, and obviously my friends as well. I like to socialise with them a lot, which is good.
Oh, that's so good. So socialising is the key, you know, maybe when you're not working, because sometimes people get so caught up with work, they don't even have time for friends, family, or they don't have time for themselves, you know, just to relax.
It's really important to, you know, keep in contact with your friends and stuff like that, because they're, you know, they're the ones who are going to be there for you and sort of thing, and support you in what you do, so I think that's very important.
Okay, so you have actually also, you know, there's so many things that, you know, if I ask April all the questions in the world, you know, it probably wouldn't be enough on this show. But I want to talk to you about, like, the face, you know, you are now a face of a company. You've obviously achieved so much in the pageant industry. You've done Face of Europe, you've done Miss Great Britain, all these different pageants. You're going to be hosting... Miss Essex.
I'm one of the organisers for Miss Essex for Miss England.
Fantastic.
So I've done all the audition stages. They're all done. And then I'm setting up a boot camp day as well for the finalists. I'm going to coach them. And then obviously we've got the main event, which I'll be judging the girls and giving them some tips and stuff on the night.
Brilliant.
So yeah, excited.
Also, you're face of a new company, a new cosmetics company.
Yes, I am.
Tell viewers a little bit about that.
I've just signed a campaign with 10 Image Makeup. They have been in the UK for about a year now. They are the #1 brand in Spain, so they came over to the UK and spotted me at a fashion show I done for a celebrity designer the other week. And asked me if I want to be the face of their company. So setting up a few photo shoots and maybe going over to Spain later this year to film a commercial for them. So exciting things ahead.
That's brilliant. Sounds like you're really, you know, taking hold of the opportunities that come your way.
Absolutely.
We're going to go on another break, everybody. But when we come back, we're going to look at some of April's designs. I'm looking forward to that. Don't go anywhere for too long.